I've known her since 1996, and she is the only member of the Oswego State Athletics Hall of Fame who have ever appeared on the Rich Eisen Show. She is Linda Cohn.
Oh, it never fails. It takes just seconds, Rich, for you to make me crack up.
We put it at 7.
Yeah.
Hello, Elsie. How are you?
So great to be here with you, Rich. I'm so, as I was saying, I know like I'm like proud mama, but I'm so proud of you. Look what you've built. An empire.
You know, the El Segundo Empire. That's what I've got going on right
great
here.
Fantasy name.
El Segundo Empire. Oh, very good.
Yes.
Now, I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
We did SportsCenter many times way back in the day.
million.
Now, I remember one in particular that I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
You and I were doing, I think, as they said, the 11 o'clock Eastern show. And all of a sudden, we get a phone call that we have to go on the air immediately because a brawl has broken out at Madison Square Garden because the Andrew Galata-Riddick Bowe fight went haywire.
Right, because normally, I'm not even sure if that was going to be our lead story of that night.
At all, right.
Right, or it might not have made the show. It probably would have.
Yes.
But yeah, so when that happens back in the day, we went haywire.
We did. I remember that.
We were you were like knocking on, I think, on the door, like, we got to go down.
No, I had a cubicle. You had an office.
Oh, that's true. I did start 4 years earlier.
No, you did. No, I know that. No, that's okay.
Hello. But anyway, but we somehow put it together and did a fabulous ad-lib the entire program.
Because it was one of those things, because you and I are both from New York City.
Sure.
And we're like, no, honestly, we were kind of, I remember we were walking down together, we're saying, okay, we're getting a little bit of bits and pieces as to why something had broken out.
Right.
And we both looked at each other like, if cops got called to Madison Square Garden, all holy heck had to have broken out.
And you love boxing. I mean, give yourself a little credit. I mean, you totally had done your research on this fight. Well, I remember that you love you love the fight game.
Well, part of the reason why I love the fight game so much, it was my way to get out of the SportsCenter studio because Charlie Steiner stopped doing it.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Well, he stopped doing it, and they asked me to take over the beat. This Jewish kid from Brooklyn who's a lover, not a fighter.
Yes.
I mean, he's from Staten Island, born in Brooklyn, raised in Staten Island. And I remember one of the first fights I covered, Chris, was the Holyfield Michael Moore rematch. Holyfield Moore 2 in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Big.
Okay. And I did a piece for SportsCenter Sunday morning where, Jack Edwards pooped all over it. I've told that story on the show many times. Yes. And I did a story walking around Las Vegas entertainment scene, trying to get all the sound bites of the Blue Man Group and a whole bunch of other people who were on stage at the time in Las Vegas back in that day.
Donnie and Marie.
No.
Wait, they were not.
This is a great story.
This is a great story.
Great story. And I don't know why I brought it up to you, Linda, but I came up to you. I'm like, hey, I got this idea for a story and all this stuff. And one of the people who said, yes, I will do an interview and be part of your silly piece was David Cassidy.
The first love of my life as a 12-year-old.
And she went nuts. You went nuts.
It was the greatest thing Rich has ever done. He brings back you brought back an autographed picture.
Well, you said, you said, if you can get anything, can I get an autographed picture of him? And instead, I got a photograph of you that you autographed to him that I got him to put up in his mirror in his dressing room.
Incredible. It's one of those moments. People would think, oh, here's Rich and Linda talking about the old days at ESPN. It has to be sports related. No, it was something as great as the late David Cassidy. How sad he is known. Yes,
I know.
But Rich, that's, I think, one of your top 10 claims to fame for me on my top 10, my SportsCenter top 10 of Rich Eisen's greatest. That's David Cassidy makes the top 10.
I'm glad I didn't make the not top 10.
Do you know what's another one? No, the not top 10.
Right.
Friday Funnies. Okay. The not top 10.
Yes.
But the good thing, one of the shows we did together.
Yes.
I was telling lovely Sarah in makeup.
Yes.
The turn of the century, or what do they call it, when we went from 1999 to 2000?
Y2K. The Y2K?
Yeah, that's what it was called. Why did I forget that? Charlie Steiner, again, another Charlie reference.
You know what?
He had a great commercial.
Yes.
But we did that amazing SportsCenter. It was like visuals of all the greatest moments of
That's
the
right.
19. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And it was an amazing. Me and you, everyone watched it. I think you can get it on YouTube. And the whole thing is, they had Aerosmith "Dream On" in the backdrop. Do you remember it?
I do, of course.
You had all the greatest moments. Muhammad Ali, Cal Ripken, all these iconic sports moments, why we both fell in love with sports, why we wanted to do this for a living.
It was a goosebump thing.
It was. And that's another show I remember with you.
I do remember
that makes
doing
our
that.
top 10.
You know what? Linda Cohn here on the Rich Eisen Show. I know that they did count up all your sports centers when you passed, I guess. Who did you pass for?
I have no idea who I passed. I hit the 5,000 milestone like 2 years ago.
Right.
And it's still going strong.
It was LC 5K is
yes,
what it was.
I
remember that. And so who did they count up how many you did with each person? Like who's the person you did the most? Who do you think is the person you did the most sports centers with?
That's a great point. I mean, you were definitely up there, I think. I mean,
you and I did a lot.
We did a lot, but you had obviously the late Stuart Scott, but we were like in that kind of. I was always
rotation.
That rotation.
Yes.
In the pen. I was
you
in the pen.
You were not in the pen, Linda. You were not in the pen.
Wait, maybe I'm Mariano Rivera. Maybe I'm coming out to close.
No. John Franco for you.
Okay, that's true. Right. But I'd rather be Mariano.
But I remember, when I did more 11s with you when I wasn't doing the 2 a.m. with Stuart Scott.
That's true.
Because you got the earlier shift.
But it's a great question. But I would think you'd be right up there. And now we've gone to the top 5 of sports centers I've done the most with. Rich Eisen. You have to be in the top 5.
Well, I haven't been there in 16 years.
But it's possible because it's now a lot of depth, a lot of. Everything's a sports term.
It's a deep bench. It's a deep bench on SportsCenter.
It is.
That sounded like a pedoism right there.
It really
Bill
is.
Pedoism is a deep bench.
I did not do as many sports centers.
What about Kilborn?
No. You're a bigger fan of Craig than I was. With all due respect.
He was here a couple weeks ago.
I'm sure he was. Is he working anywhere? Maybe he needs some help. You were there to help him. You help people, Rich.
You know what, Linda? He came here. He's got his great Instagram feed.
I heard about that. He's funny.
He is funny.
But I always remember him.
All right, we can get off the Craig subject.
Okay. No more stories about Craig. Okay.
Oh, you're no good.
No, I'm just saying I always remember people. He was always nice to me.
Yes.
But his focus was being the next David Letterman. And do you remember what I always told you?
No.
And okay, great.
No. You told me a lot of things.
Because I thought, and I still do. That's why I'm so proud of you. Because I always used to say you would make a great late night talk show host. You're funny. You can ad lib great. You're great with people. You make them feel comfortable. And now look at you.
Well, Linda,
so that's the truth. I always said that.
Now
honest.
that's why I love doing this every day.
Because that's what this is. It's just daytime.
Linda Cohn here on the Rich Eisen Show. That's
true.
me resetting here with Linda. Do you want a new coach for your Giants?
I said this 4 weeks ago. Now everyone's on the wagon. I'm president of the Eli Manning fan club, so I wasn't happy when that move was made. I got over it. But Daniel Jones, listen, I know, face of the franchise. He has a fumbling issue. No one wants to talk about it. I'm talking about it. I know he threw for 4 touchdowns for the second time in his career. I know he set Giants franchise records as a rookie.
Right.
He is the future. He is the present. And he's a good kid. He's little mini Eli. But with this team, it's the defense. And I'm concerned with the defensive coordinator. There's no improvement at all in this defense. They continue to go backwards. And there's no accountability. The Giants culture, as you know, because I know you're a Jet fan, but you know the Giants culture.
Of course.
They, even when things were bad, there was someone in that locker room that rallied the troops. No one's there in that Giant locker room. They say all the right things, and Pat Shurmur has yet to take responsibility at any post-game news conference. I have yet to hear him say this is on me. Doug Peterson, Eagles won a Super Bowl with Doug Peterson. He takes responsibility when his team stinks. Most head coaches in the NFL, as you know, take responsibility. Bill Belichick takes responsibility for the rare times the Patriots lose.
Right.
I've yet to hear Pat Shurmur say, hey, that was on me.
But why would you want to hear that? I mean,
I do want to hear it.
Just to hear it?
I want accountability. And I think it starts with the head coach. I want accountability when my teams lose.
So then the answer is yes, you do want a new head coach.
I need a new head coach. He's, 7-29 in his Giants head coaching career?
Looks like they're going to have another top 5 pick right now.
Regarding?
Just another top 5.
Yeah.
They're going to have another one.
Is Dave Gettleman going to be around to make another poor pick? See, listen, with all due respect to Daniel Jones, the Giants needed a pass rusher. You can't win in the NFL, as you know, without not only one pass rusher, you need 2 in this league.
That kid Josh Allen was sitting out there when they chose Daniel Jones. They just said that Daniel Jones wouldn't have been there for the next time around.
Yeah, and maybe we don't.
In the first round.
You lived it. You were there.
No,
you saw it.
So when what you're hearing about the way Jay Gruden has no longer there, and they just named Dwayne Haskins the starter for the rest of the season in Washington, D.C., it sounds like Washington might have hit the Daniel Jones button. And at some point, you do have to get him all of these fumbles that you're talking about, including Jamal Adams ripping one out of his hands yesterday for a touchdown.
Posting a SpongeBob SquarePants video. Did you see that?
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, he just was here's the word is out around the league on Daniel Jones.
Right.
He didn't even try to sack him. He just went right for the ball and swiped it away. The league knows about the fumbleitis problem.
But the way to fix it is to get him the reps, I guess, is the way to do it. And if Shermer's going to take those bullets, maybe he's going to get one more year with him and Saquon, and we'll see who they can draft.
Look at Saquon. The guy rushed back from a high ankle sprain. They ruined the first 2 years, really. I mean, look what Saquon Barkley. I'm concerned. He's a good kid. I've done SportsCenter commercials with him.
He's so amazing. He's
so
just
humble.
He's as great as
they don't know how to use him. That's why I have a problem with Shermer. They don't know how to use Saquon Barkley. I know he piled up a lot of great numbers last year, but look at the team. And I felt management destroyed Eli Manning. I mean, you should have let him go. And they go, Eli's never going to leave that team. You should have let him go in the offseason.
They at this point, they'd probably still be 2-7 with him.
I don't know. I think
Daniel
he could have
Jones
won. I think he could have won. Quite possibly. I told you I'm an Eli apologist, but I think he could have made a few smarter decisions, and obviously not rookie decisions, and maybe would have stole a couple of those losses. Now they've lost 6 straight.
Linda Cohn here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who's your Super Bowl? What do you got?
Patriots.
Okay.
And I'll tell you the NFC.
Kills you to say that. You just swallowed hard.
No, Dan's a big Patriots fan.
Okay,
I love Tom Brady.
Okay. Okay.
And then, but I did swallow hard because I was thinking about the NFC and what I want to see. This is what you want to see. You should see this.
What?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
Brady playing against in his home, the Bay Area, San Francisco, the team he grew up in love with.
Right.
And then against Jimmy G, former teammate. Love it.
Right.
Best storyline.
And then you would like to see Jimmy G beat the Patriots.
No.
And then your son, no?
No, because I do love the Patriots. I do love the whole culture work, and I love Tom Brady. Pile up the rings, baby.
Well,
yes, Linda.
But here, because you have spent a lot of time in New England.
Because my Giants took 2
I know that.
possible rings from
But
him.
a true diehard Patriot fan with this matchup would want to see Kyle Shanahan go up 28-3 with Garoppolo, only to lose that Super Bowl.
Great point.
Am I wrong, Chris?
You're not wrong.
Right.
You're not wrong.
Because there's got to be a certain amount of anger and spite in it. Not just, hey, you know what, I don't mind Brady and Patriots. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. I brought this up the other day.
Yeah,
I'm still amazing when teams name their future head coach. And, of course, Kyle Shanahan, who blew that Super Bowl, and then he's like welcomed with open arms in San Francisco, like the genius, and good for him. Kudos, great year, amazing.
Yes,
probably lose tonight, but the thing is, that would be interesting. You're right, but I could see it. And
my favorite thing in sports is when any team goes up 28-3. People just bring back
about it.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, didn't
Illinois was losing 28-3 and came back to win?
And they came back to win on Michigan State, which was just a wonderful part of my weekend.
It was great. I'm sorry. I still think Matt Ryan should have called some kind of audible there and rose above Kyle Shanahan's awful play calling.
At last, it did not happen. It did not happen. All right, I got a couple more minutes left.
Yes.
And I will cede the floor to you on ice hockey.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do this daily show on ESPN Plus. I know nobody cares about the NHL until football's over.
Okay.
You're missing the greatness of Connor McDavid.
Okay.
All right, but
I had Teemu Solani in studio last week.
Great. Have you been to his place? Okay, great.
I've not been to the penalty box. That's the name of it, right?
No, it's actually called Solani's.
Okay,
but that's fine.
Very good.
No, but the NHL is great. It's exciting. It's awesome game. The usual suspects are fabulous.
Okay.
Yeah, look for Colorado Avalanche. Look for them to be right there.
Okay.
I mean, Sidney Crosby is still the face of the league. Connor McDavid is still the most exciting player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
What about your Rangers?
My Rangers are still in a reboot. It's interesting. The big talking point is whether Henrik Lundqvist, who's now like 37 years old, still got it, but he loves being a Ranger. But does he want to win a Stanley Cup more? In the past, it was always love being a Ranger. Doesn't want to win a Stanley Cup. He's like the next Alex Ovechkin, who finally won the Cup, right?
Yes.
Been with one franchise. I don't know how, I mean, he's no Tom Brady. I don't think he can play goal till he's 45
Right.
and hope to win,
Right.
for his first thing. So their reboot, it's good. A lot of good things. The New York Islanders are doing very well.
Okay. You just caught me up to speed.
Yeah,
I
you're
got
good.
it all going on.
Let's get into March when there's March Madness in the NHL, and then we get into real storylines for you.
In the Crease on ESPN Plus, everybody.
Nice.
With Linda Cohn.
Yes,
hosting In the Crease. And, of course, when's your next SportsCenter?
Friday and Saturday of this week.
With Kenny? What are you doing?
No, either
doing?
with Stan or Neil.
Stan or Neil?
L.A., baby.
They've probably surpassed me and Stu in terms of tenure at that spot.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure of it. It's really the only team left, like regular team.
Right.
Think about it. I mean, at nighttime.
Well, Van Pelt.
Because Van Pelt is just so low. He's it's a different kind of sports center.
Well, Scott's show is like the days when we used to do it.
Well, yeah,
It's a
because
version of that.
listen,
Right.
Scott, I love. Mm-hmm. He follows live events. The 11 p.m. Eastern used to follow live events.
Right.
It's a great number.
And the 2 a.m. Eastern used to follow
The 11 o'clock
You
Eastern.
know, the Rockies versus the Dodgers,
Yeah.
and somebody's pitching into the 14th inning, and we're sitting there saying, "Could you get this thing over?"
It's still
with?"
happening,
Oh,
and
gosh.
doing it in L.A. And even though
Well,
it's
that's
3
good
hours
now.
earlier,
Oh,
but
that's good.
it's still bad.
Says the longest tenured anchor in SportsCenter history. Linda Cohn, everybody. Great to see you, LC.
It's always
Let's
great,
do this
Rich.
more often since you're out here.
And I'm right around the corner.
It's a home game
basically.
for you.
It is. I like that phrase.
It's a home game
And
for
congratulations on that big Jets win.
That did not sound genuine whatsoever. I'll be very honest with you. That did not sound genuine at all. Do you want to try that one more time?
No.
At Linda Cohn on both Twitter and Instagram, right here on The Rich Eisen Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.